Hey, I'm glad you're joining me today. This is Harbor Famous, my not-so-subtle scheme to talk to the most interesting and entertaining people right here in Grays Harbor. You know the folks. You see them around town, and they just kind of always make you smile. Well, I wanted to have a chat with them. My name is Stephen Pavogel, and I am so glad you're joining me today, and I hope that you have as much fun as I'm about to. Thank you for joining us. Hey, welcome to Harbor Famous. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I am really excited to learn about something going on in Grays Harbor that I've heard about really kind of recently, and I want to know more about it. And so I brought on some folks to tell me about Grays Harbor Youth Works. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring in a couple of guests and ask them to introduce themselves and tell me about Grays Harbor Youth Works.
Hello, Stephen. Thank you for having us today. We're really excited to be here. And I'm currently the Executive Director of Grays Harbor Youth Works. And I'll let Felicia introduce herself, and then I can come back and I'll tell you about our program. Go ahead, Felicia.
Hey, thank you, Cheryl, and thank you for having us on, Steve. This is amazing. I'm Felicia Mullins. I'm the Program Coordinator for Grays Harbor Youth Works, and Cheryl is going to tell us what we do.
Thanks, Felicia. You've become such a great asset to our program, by the way. Anyway, Grays Harbor Youth Works was created and started in 2010 by Dr. Doreen Cato in Ocean Shores. She had moved here from Seattle area to retire, and then she had been a great advocate for homelessness, education, and not only in the Seattle King County area, but also worldwide. There are several buildings named after her due to her lifetime achievement of work. So for Grays Harbor County and Ocean Shores to receive this lady here to retire and saw a need for the youth, she got busy working again and started putting some committees together and started talking to the youth. It's like she saw a need. They needed to know, what can they do? How do you tie your education into work, into career? And so she spoke. It took her about 3 years, interviewed the high school students and asked them, if you did an internship, what do you want to do? And they said anything but sweep floors and do dishes or mop floors or whatever. So she got a group of wonderful community leaders, created a board of directors, became a nonprofit 5013C, and went to work. And in 2013, she started her internship program. And the mission is, which is really cool. I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to not mess this up, so I'm going to read it. But our mission is to engage and transform the experiences of students ages 15 to 19 throughout Grays Harbor County by providing intern experiences that leads towards post-secondary pursuits and livable wage employment. We are a nonprofit organization governed by a 12-person board of directors, organized and operated exclusive for charitable purposes. It operates to provide 15 to 19-year-old high school students with a hands-on work experience relevant to the career field of their choice or their interest. Internships highlight how reading, math, science, technology, and critical thinking come together. The organization's purpose to help students learn what they will need through vocational training, college, or military for higher education to obtain a position in a rewarding and sustainable career. During the internship experience, we evaluate interns on essential skills with their mentor. Our interns are eligible to receive up to $300 scholarship and a half for a full school credit. So the way Doreen first started with 4 high schools, it was North Beach, Tohola, Lake Quinault, and I believe Hoquiam. And there was only a handful of students, and they had to do an application, a resume, and provide a recommendation letter. And then we have them take a career assessment test. And when those results come in, then we go to a business and say, hey, will you take this student, let them be your intern, receive work experience in this possible career for them, and train them and mentor them so they can learn about hands-on experience. So the way our program works, we try to do it within, depending on how many hours the student signs up for, it's usually completed within 10 weeks because we want the hours to be there so they can really get a chance to try all aspects of that job. So we work in 30, 60, 90, and 180 hours. At 30 hours and 60 hours, they can receive a $150 scholarship, totaling a total of $300. It's not much, but it's something we try to do. Now, for the students who are looking for extra credit or a credit, Doreen set this program to where the students can receive credit through their high school, through their counselor. At 90 hours, they can get a half a credit, and for a full credit, they have to do 180 hours. So therefore, then those students usually work, more than 3 to 4 months to get those hours in. We do require that they keep their grades up. It's not an easy out for them to learn a little side money. The difference about our program is I had youths ask me, it's like, well, how can you get me a job when I can't? And so when I go to the employers who are very community-based and involved, they will say yes to me and give us an opportunity to put you to work and get you the experience you need to know which way you want to go in your career. So that was our mission statements. And I would like to introduce our board of directors. Several of them have been with us from the beginning. Speaking of one, Gloria Callahan, she's our board president. She runs the Domestic Violence Center of Grays Harbor. She's the executive director there. We have Derek Cook, who's been with us forever. Also, he's the vice president and also a resident and graduated, I think, in Aberdeen or Hoquiam, I'm not sure. But he's the principal of Harbor High School and the Grays Harbor Juvenile Detention Center. He's in charge of that, I believe. And I think preschool or kindergarten school. I can't remember which one. I apologize on that. Lynn Green, who's the Aberdeen School District Career and Technical Education Director, she's our secretary. She's been with us from the beginning. A very awesome lady to have on our board.
Yeah.
Then we have Yannette Gibbs. She's our treasurer. She's the CEO of New Horizons Federal Credit Union. And of course, it's where everybody should bank. And then Angela Bobby, she was our secretary for about 6 years. She just kind of stepped down due to her kids getting older and getting into all these sports, well, before COVID, obviously. Yeah. But she's with the Coastal Community Action Program. She's a job developer. Yeah. We have Christopher Hunt. He's the IT manager for Port of Grays Harbor. Mm-hmm. He also does our Career Pathway Day, which I'll speak about later. And he does help us with our IT information. We just had a meeting with them on getting some more upgraded software for our program is growing. Yeah. Then we have Christy Kershaw. She's the Elma High School career technical education teacher. And then we have Jerry Ford from Hoquiam High School. She's a career specialist teacher or counselor. And then we have Diana Rodriguez, who is a past intern and a current Grays Harbor College student, and she's currently still working at her intern business house. They hired her on after she completed her internship. Nice. We brought on two more. I brought on two more business partners to our board. We have Marcy Alstrom, the recruiting and admissions manager at Grays Harbor College, and also Jamie Graves, who's the manager of Hoquiam Physical Therapy Services, due to her longevity of being a business host for us for over 5 years. So to add those to our board, we really have a strong board. It's diverse. It's very knowledgeable. These people are just totally wonderful and supportive. So on that one, when Doreen, so for my experience with Grays Harbor Youth Works was moved here from Denver. My daughter was a junior, went from a high school of 3,000 kids down to North Beach at 258 kids with 7th and 8th grade. Mary Nelson, the counselor at that time, told Renee about Grays Harbor Youth Works, and she signed up. At that time, she didn't know if she was going to be an artist, a fashion designer, softball player, and I said, those don't make money. In 18, you need to support yourself. Well, she went through Grays Harbor Youth Works and was placed at CMAR Medical Clinic, found out that she loved the medical field. I think she spent the whole summer there. She loved it so much, and they actually trained her. She had the skills of an MA, but not officially, because she was now old enough. And two, she ended up volunteering her hours after she completed her internship. The following year, she drove to Aberdeen to do the CTE CNA program after she did her credit hours at North Beach. And then after graduation, she got up and moved and went to Vancouver, Washington to go to Clark College. And so my daughter found her career pathway, and she became an LPN in 13 months and has been working as a nurse since then. And little brat, she's making more money than I ever did. I just wish she'd pay me back. But I noticed something during the time that when she was going through the internship, she changed. She became responsible. She started setting goals. She started doing her chores. Her whole life changed in more ways than one. So after Renee went through the internship program, I went to Doreen and said, Doreen, I believe in your program. If there's anything I can do to help out, please let me know. Well, a few months later, Doreen says, hey, Cheryl, we need a parent on the board. I said, well, what's a board? Oh, we meet once a month and just show up. It's kind of like what I remember. She told me more than that.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's my board meetings, and I sat there and I was like in total awe with all these people. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
And but I was paying attention. I listened, and then I noticed that Doreen was trying to do the financial and accounting, and that's one of my fortes. I have lots of skills. And so I volunteered my time to do the finances and the financials for Grace Harbor Youth Works, and I've been doing that since 2017. And then prior to having a full-time or part-time program coordinator, Doreen would get a Just volunteer from Catholic Community Services, and they'd be here for 9 months. Well, every year, Doreen would have to take them, show them around, retrain them, because they were from other states. They didn't know the area. They didn't know the schools. They didn't know the businesses and all that. So the program still went on. And then because of these volunteers, I did do a good job in doing the internship program as what the program coordinator is supposed to do. We recruit the students, we get all their paperwork, then we recruit the businesses, and we match them up, monitor them, evaluate them, and then we do a year-end celebration event, and then record keeping on what we've accomplished for the year. So in 2018, we lost that Jessup volunteer, and Doreen is an excellent grant writer, and she got funds to hire a full-time program coordinator. And I'm like, I want that job. I was currently working at this casino, very unhappy in payroll. No offense to anybody there, but everybody knows I was, because they had to work for me. I was doing a different job every day. I was either in accounting, soft count, HR, whatever. I didn't have anything to do, and it's really sad to go to a job and not have any duties to go to work for. It's like in like dead end. So I really pressured, please let me do this. And so Doreen managed to make that happen, became the full-time program coordinator. And during this time last year, not only did we have our regular scholarship internship program, we received a grant or a contract from Pacific Mountain WorkSource Development Council to intern 35 students with 2 barriers. And the barriers were homeless, pregnant, trouble with the law, a migrant, had a 504 IEP, and what is the other one? I can't remember. I think there was 8 different categories, but low income, which we thought, cool, we can do that. Grace Harbor is all low income, right? So we said, yeah, we can do that. Well, there had to be 2 barriers. We found out later, but they got paid 90 hours. They had to do 90 hours at $12 an hour. So when it was a paid internship, I had 52 kids in less than 3 weeks. Right. And then we had to find those barriers. And so it reduced down to where we got the 35. And then I think 24 actually completed the 90 hours. I mean, some did more due to life circumstances, things like that. They had to drop out, move, whatever the cases may have been. But 8 of those interns got hired on at their jobs at the end of the summer when they were done with their 90 hours. Cool. And so that was really exciting for us. The goal for Grace Harbor Youth Work was to be in all 13 school districts. Not only did I achieve that last year, we also were able to pick up out of school students and the Gravity students out of school, and then the age limit was 16 to 24, so that really opened the door. And along in gathering all these new interns, I was able to pick up another 15 businesses to put these kids into internship programs. And all the employers are totally amazing. The community out here, anytime I go in and ask a business, will you help us? If they can, they will. And so it's been really phenomenal with the way that the community works out here in Grace Harbor. And I'm so happy and proud to have become a part of this through Grace Harbor Youth Works. There's another thing that we get to do is we have Career Pathway Day, And it is what, over the years, I think Doreen started in 2017. We pick 2 high schools and we take a certain age group and they take their career assessment test, and that's how we plan the day based on the career fields that are highest interest. Then we put together a matrix where we bus the students from their school to Grays Harbor College. They do a welcome and orientation. Then they do a workshop to the career cluster that they've been assigned to, and everything is color coded. The careers is color coded, the bus and the students, so we don't lose anybody. And then they get a tour of the college, and this is where a significant part of where Marcy has done an amazing job, because she sets up all the workshops based on those career fields. And so the kids, they get split up and they go get their tour, they go to their workshop for about almost an hour. Then we put them on their buses, and then we take them to 2 businesses in the area based on those career fields. And that has been so rewarding. And the cool part is that we feed them, and then we manage to figure out the logistics to get the right kid on the right bus, get back to the right school, so the bus drivers can do their afternoon route. It's been challenging. This year would have been totally amazing. We had 9 career clusters. We were going to have our largest group of students. We had picked Aberdeen and Harbor High and HomeLink, and unfortunately, HomeLink wasn't able to participate, and then nobody was. But we had some awesome career field days. Rainier was going to be our natural resources day, and we're going to take and that bus is only going to be out there for a whole day. They had set up 6 different sites of like 7 different job position and careers for our kids that day. And then thanks to COVID, we didn't get to do it by 4 days. It was really disappointing. The other part is, so altogether between Career Pathway Day, we've had 382 students participate. For our internship program, we've done 168. Excuse me. Then we have, sorry, I missed something last time. I don't want to miss anything this time. Excuse me. Apologize for the delay there. So basically, that's our program in a nutshell of what we do. Our goal is to let the students here know that they have opportunities that they can't see. I'd never imagined Renee becoming a nurse by coming out here and seeing what she wanted. She couldn't wait to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, when COVID hit in March, that was really devastating to our program because we need businesses and students, and both were shut down. So in the meantime, now it's Felicia's turn to speak because of what she created and what she did to keep us alive and keep our students engaged during this crisis of everything, our whole world changing. I want Felicia to describe everything that she did. Oh, and by the way, the reason why I'm the executive director now is Doreen retired at the end of last year. We moved up, got another grant, was able to hire a part-time program coordinator, and we're always accepting donations on our website because I want to keep this lady around. So anything you can do there will definitely help. I'm learning how to grant write. Anyway, Felicia, go ahead. I want you to explain to everybody what you managed to do by starting with our board with our social media internship, and go ahead.
Thank you, Cheryl. And I really appreciate Cheryl's work with Grays Harbor YouthWorks. She's really been a critical asset to Grays Harbor YouthWorks over the last few years, and expanding it and getting all of the youth engaged in this great program, because we really are the only game in town. Grays Harbor YouthWorks is really the only game in town and getting involved in internships. And so, and you got to think that's incredible, considering that we have a student population of, I think, about 3,000 or more students. So, but we were I'm going to say this, in March, we had just engaged with over 200 students all around the harbor, and we brought on 24 interns. Many of them were already working at their sites, and a few others were waiting to work or interview at their job sites. And literally, it was like March 23rd. That's when the stay-at-home order kicked in. But about a week beforehand a week or two beforehand was when Governor Jay Inslee proposed the idea of not letting people gather in large groups. So that's when some businesses, some of our business hosts told us, hey, we cannot host any interns because we want to keep everybody safe. But March 23rd, when the stay-at-home order kicked in, you can imagine what we were doing. We were questioning, what do we do? How are we going to engage our interns now that they're not allowed to work at their business sites? So at that point, we had approval from the board to bring on some interns for Grays Harbor YouthWorks to work on our social media. Our web presence was there. We had a Facebook page and we had a website, and I created a LinkedIn company profile, but there was not much there. And so fortunately we were able to onboard 4 students, 2 from North Beach High School, 1 from Hoquiam High School, make that 3 from North Beach High School, and I'll explain him later. So they came on and I developed a 10-week curriculum for them where they're not only helping us expand our social media and web presence, but I'm teaching them basic skills regarding social media marketing, best practices, content development, social media strategy, and then giving them business 101 classes on company formations and branding. So it's been a fun 10 weeks. Actually, we're at 8 weeks, 9 weeks, but it's been great. And I just want to show you really quick with the social media internship program, what the students have accomplished. I'm going to share a screen, and is that possible to do?
Let me see. It's not Zoom. I know I can share a screen, but I don't remember if it's going to let me do that. Wasn't ready for that. So I don't have that. Oh, I
have it here. Can you see this? If I click on this, can you see our YouTube channel?
I do. Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is one of the.
That's what you had to do. Because you had the button, not me. I'm like going, I don't see that button. There you go.
Oh, trust me, we'll get into our Zoom series, but sure. I just want to show you what our social media interns have done in our new internship program. And again, we're the only ones in Grays Harbor County that's offering hands-on social media internships. I believe Grays Harbor College has a social media program, but when it comes to high school students between the ages of 15 and 19, we are the only ones, Grays Harbor YouthWorks, we're the only ones who are teaching this, all this wonderful marketing and providing hands-on experience to students here. So one of our interns, he was basically the North Beach Community TV intern. And then bam, March 23rd, stay at home happened. And so we brought him on to help us with our YouTube channel and to record our Career Connected Learning Zoom meeting series. And I'll explain that later. But what you're seeing right now is the YouTube channel that he had created. And down here, you can see that there's the videos. There are 2 videos right now from our Career Connected Learning series. There will be many, many more to come. But this is what an intern, he's 18 years old. He is, I believe he is a senior or will be a senior next year at North Beach High School. But he created this and he edits all of our video meetings using some software that we provided for him. And he's just done a great job. And moving forward, here is our Twitter. Our student from North Beach High School, who's 15 years old, created our wonderful Twitter profile. And she's been working to get more followers, but she has created the profile and added all of this cool content about our Career Connected Learning Zoom series. So any Twitterers out there who are watching, please go on our Twitter profile, of course, our YouTube as well, and follow us. You're going to see more great content to come from our young people in Grays Harbor. Of course, we've had the Facebook page forever. However, our intern out of Hoquiam High School has done a lot of brilliant posting in terms of content on this channel. As you can see, look, we're live.
Yeah.
And you can see, yeah, it's fun. It's so great, the technology, and it's been even better having students lead a student organization, an organization that really is for students. Here is our LinkedIn company page, and this is wonderful. Our intern, who also runs our Facebook page, she has been tasked to get more people onto our LinkedIn page. She's posted really awesome content about things that we do when it comes to getting students involved in their career interests. Last week we had Kim Foster, the county clerk of Grace Harbor, and Lena E. from Santa Clara's Open Space Initiative. They came on to talk about their work in government and public administration. And so our interns posted a lot of content around that. But we are on LinkedIn. This is our company page. We are definitely looking for businesses and professionals like yourself, Stephen, to follow us on this platform. And then lastly, Instagram. One of our interns, also out of North Beach High School, 16 years old, created our Instagram account and posted some awesome flyers and infographics about what we are doing. And he's been working furiously to get some great content up on our Instagram. Oh, yeah. And so this is amazing because the first time we met with our social media interns was on March 23rd. Mm-hmm. And they were tasked to do a SWOT analysis. Mm-hmm. So I tasked them with the assignment of going on the web and seeing where is Grace Harbor YouthWorks on the web? What are the strengths of our social media platforms and websites? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities out there that we have where we can further expand our presence? And what are some of the threats to our presence? So they went out and they saw we really didn't have much. We just had a website. I created a company page, but didn't really post to it. I was super busy. And then the Facebook page, which we try to post to it, but it's just me and Cheryl, right? And so they identified the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, and then they just they went and got us up on social media, so that when you go into a web search, you're going to see Grace Harbor County everywhere, Grace Harbor YouthWorks everywhere. I love this. I always show people this. You just put in Grace Harbor YouthWorks, bam. And then you can see that we are now all over the web, especially if I can spell our name right. But here we got some great search engine optimization going on. It used to be there was only 2 pages that described Grace Harbor YouthWorks, but now there's 10. So that's a testament to our young people and what they've done in our social media internship program. So it's been really exciting. And the last thing, probably the most important thing that we've been doing since the stay-at-home order, March 23rd, happened, I brought on the interns and created the social media internship curriculum. And that Thursday, it was March 26th, I brought on Tia Vaughn, who works with Graphically Deb, and she is an insanely amazing marketer and promoter. Yeah. And I asked her, I said, hey, I'm doing this initiative with our interns. Can you come on Thursday and we can do a Zoom meeting with them and you tell them all about marketing and promotion and about your background? And she's like, sure. And then I thought about it and I was like, what if we did this every Thursday? Right. So I started making a list. Yeah. And I was like, I should probably talk to Cheryl first. And so I was like, Cheryl, I'm making a list of people. We should do this every Thursday.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness.
Exactly. And Cheryl's like, go for it. And then literally in 2 days, Cheryl booked the whole week. So we created this series called the Career Connected Learning Guest Speakers Zoom Meeting Series. Yeah. And Cheryl booked pretty much everybody. I got to put in a couple of my people. Yeah. But it was awesome. We're booked through June 18th, and we're going to keep doing this. It's including the social media internship program. So out of the coronavirus epidemic, these are two initiatives that are very successful right now and that we want to keep doing. But in regards to the Career Connected Learning Zoom meeting series, yes, it's every Thursday at 1 p.m. And it's really cool. We bring people just like you do right now, Stephen. We bring people into from our business community to talk to our students about what they do in the 16 career clusters. So as we saw on the LinkedIn page, we talked about politics and government with Kim Foster and Luna E. We had Karen Mearsel on, and she gave us a tour of the Westport Aquarium for our STEM series. We had, David Sprague and Jeffrey Curlis from Rayonier to talk about natural resources jobs. And that was fun because they're foresters and they were talking about drone technology. And a lot of our students were like, I can get a drone license and get paid to use drones for foresting. Like they totally loved it. It was awesome. We've had so many great guests.
That industry has changed so much just in the past 10 years. I mean, people don't realize the technology that's gone into the timber industry in the last 10 years is just amazing. It's safer. There's more science. There's been so much innovation in the timber industry in the last 10. I mean, I know it goes back further, and people don't realize that these natural resource, agricultural and timber industries and things like that have always been about innovation, and there's been so much in the timber industry. So,
a couple weeks ago, it was awesome. We had Christine Church, the human resources manager of Sierra Pacific Industries, as well as Lisa Perry, the community relations officer for that company. They came on and they showed us the Sierra Pacific mill, and it's like really people aren't handling the timber. It's machines that handle the timber, and they use laser technology, robotic technology. And that was an eye-opening experience for a lot of our students because like you, I had the impression that it's still like you go to a mill and there's all these people, a man handling huge stands of timber, and no, it's totally STEM. Lots of science, lots of engineering, technology, and mathematics involved. It was an incredible learning experience when we had Sierra Pacific on.
Yeah, when the first time you see a video of a feller buncher and you're going, that's what they're getting out there in the woods. My grandfather died as a logger as a teenager. And so when innovations come along that make the timber industry safer, I'm all for it. So and the feller buncher is definitely a much safer form of logging versus the what they had before.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a part of it too with our Career Connected Learning series is showcasing the timber industry as it is now in Grays Harbor. I think, including Lisa Perry, she mentioned this in our series, in our meeting, that a lot of people still have this perception that timber is a dying industry, that it's unsafe, it's not fair to, there's no, what would you call it, sustainability. And so she blew that perception out of the water. And that helped our students be like, wow, there's opportunities here for me. I still can carry on that tradition that my family has. Since they came to Grays Harbor in the 1800s. And they know they can still be a part of that tradition. And I think that's critical to what Grays Harbor YouthWorks is doing. We're not only providing internships, we're looking for ways to provide internships in STEM. We're looking for ways to provide internships that match the 21st century economy and the concepts of sustainability and equitable business practice. And like I said, we are the ones doing this. And I want everyone to get involved because this has the potential of really transforming our community to where there are living wage jobs. And we're really helping students, set them up for a future that they can hope for, instead of just thinking like, well, I'm probably going to just collect the check like the rest of my family. So why work? Why Why participate in our economy?
Right. So, wow, so much. So this kind of started with Dr. Cato. It was kind of a North Beach kind of thing. So North Beach into Hoquiam, that kind of thing. And I think I remember that kind of when she was getting that going. Of course, she has a really long resume in King County and here in Grays Harbor and stuff like that. And then, but now we're countywide and all that kind of thing. And then I really like how you've been able to adapt to the to this situation, right? Because we know that we're in a temporary situation that's going to have permanent changes, right?
I was going to say that. Yep, exactly.
We're in and think innovations that come out of this, and it's hard to face a crisis and go, great, what are the innovations? What is our peace dividend out of all of this, right? What are we going to end up doing better because we were put in a bad situation, that kind of thing. And certainly we've seen that. I know, the ability to adapt really quickly became super important, that kind of thing. And I really like how you've been able to get the youth, in things that can be done from where they're at. And certainly we're seeing that, how work is going forward can be either remote or, with, safer, that kind of thing, whether it be in the timber industry where it's like, oh, okay, how can you continue this industry? And you might not have interns out in the woods right now. But at the same time, there's still things to be learned and picked up in this meantime is what I call the Great Pause. That's the name I've thrown on it. I don't think I've put it out to other media out there as the Great Pause. Of course, I haven't paused yet. I'm just as busy as I was on March 12th, and I know a lot of other people are kind of the same way. You would think that, starting up a podcast means I was bored. Actually, it's not. I just needed therapy. Thank you for tuning in. So.
No, I get it. I put my podcast on hold. I've been running the Juxtaposition podcast since September. We've had great people from the Harbor on to talk about art and politics. And I have 10 shows that I've done, but having to help Cheryl pivot the program to where we're still engaging youth. I just put it on hold because right now it's critical that we keep our youth engaged so that they're not bored and that they still have hope for the future. Because in this era, the Great Pause, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's kind of traumatic. There's students that are supposed to graduate. So we're figuring out ways to honor their graduation. That's a huge milestone. That's an American tradition. Right. So yeah, it's been really critical to keep our youth engaged during this time, so that they see that, no, you still have a future. We have to do things virtually. We have to be careful when we're out in public. But you still have a future. You still should be thinking about your career and your interest and working towards those.
Yeah. So we had some comments in there. Thank you for chiming in. I see you there. So and then so can you give some shout outs to some of these businesses that you've been able to partner with?
Oh my God, there's so many of them. Yes.
Do we not start because then you're going to forget the one?
Yeah, the one that you didn't mention me.
You didn't.
Actually, on our website, we have all of our business. Everyone that's helped us, they're on our website.
Very cool.
Felicia says can you? Yeah, pull it up and pull up our.
Pull it up. We'll
and then I can let her read that off. In the meantime, since we started that Career Connected Learning Zoom series, we had 4 state programs come out and ask us and say, what are you guys doing? And then they started marketing for us. And here's our list here. So A&R Aviation was the first business outside of Grays Harbor County that was for a student that wanted to work on helicopters. And the Elma counselor, Mary Roberts, went after them for this student. And he was a barrier student. And then let's see, go ahead and scroll through. Let's see, so we have Aberdeen Marine, I'm not familiar with them. The museum, Ace Hardware, yes, they were definitely one of the first businesses up here. Anchor Thrift Store, Andy's Parts and Service out in Elma. They took a mechanic internship.
Nice.
They're still looking for more help. The Ark of Grace Harbor. We also partner with the Ark during the summer, and last year we did 17 special needs students into internships, and but for them it's just basic work experience so they can learn their essential skills and become a productive member of society despite their physical or whatever issues they may have. Treat them like normal.
Great group.
They
Yeah.
learn. This year it was a questionable series if we were going to be able to do the ARC contract with Pacific Mountain Workforce. But when Felicia and I presented to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do that too." So they're really excited. We're just waiting for things to come down the pipeline, and we're going to be doing 20 students at 40 hours, and they'll get paid, I think, $12.50 an hour this summer. Then we have Arrow Lumber and Hardware up here. Jeff Anderson took a special needs student last year. Bayview Building Materials in Elma, they took 2 students and hired 1. Briggs Nursery, they took 2 students and hired both of them. Buckhammer, I'm not familiar with them because of some of this list is something. City of Montesano, yay, Chuck, Chief Brooks, he took an intern, and I happened to go by there and caught him in uniform, and that was pretty awesome.
Nice.
We also did one at the. They also took an intern for landscaping at the cemetery, and he learned how to use all the lawn equipment and tools and basic plant maintenance and everything, and that was really cool. He really enjoyed that. Coastal, Coast, I haven't done anything with, or Coastal. Gloria, of course, at Domestic Violence Center, they teach a lot of basic office skills and confidentiality. So another thing about any of our interns, when they go to a business, they have to follow all HIPAA laws and follow any. They're an employee. They have to fill out the company's paperwork. They have to adhere to all the rules and policies and everything that is required due to the confidentiality of information that they may see or hear on. Elma Family Dentals participated with us. I think we were going to have somebody with them this year. That didn't happen. Elma Timberland Library, Karin, she is totally amazing. The students there, they learn a lot of IT stuff. They get to interact with youth, and it's pretty amazing. Feed the Hungry. Actually, my office is, our real office is with Feed the Hungry, and Shar Keller is totally amazing. With they like taking the special needs youth during the summer and give them little jobs to do. Give Me Pause and Pause of Aberdeen, Dana. She is a totally amazing mentor, and she loves taking the interns and teaching basic stuff about the dogs and cats that come into their facilities. Some of these, like I said, I didn't get to do. Grace Harbor Historical Seaport, they were huge last summer. They took 5 of our summer students. Grace Harbor PUD, we've been trying to get back in there. They did take a student the first year. That was pretty cool. Great Northwest Federal Credit Union, they take an intern every year and have hired both of them. Diana, that we mentioned, is still working for them. And I interned from this year. Kelsey, they hired her on afterwards too. Greater Grace Harbor, they are huge. I'm also an ambassador for Greater Grace Harbor. I mean, being an ambassador, you help greet the businesses in the area, and it's like I do that anyway. So let me go introduce them and say, hey, you want to help do an internship? So again, a lot of things have changed since COVID. Habitat for Humanity, Brian Lyon, he just does an amazing job with the kids. Hope Queen Physical Therapy, she did so great that she's on our board now. Let's see, go ahead. Jodisha, I didn't get to do any. Lake Quinault School District. Now this one's phenomenal. What they did is, if anybody goes out Lake Quinault, there's no businesses. But it's one of the first schools that Doreen started with. The school district creates the jobs for the students. And this last year, they called me like middle of September, said, okay, Cheryl, we're ready to go. Come on up here and have them do their paperwork. And luckily, those interns, because they started so soon, they got their hours in before COVID hit. So that was pretty exciting. But we have 2 teachers, a sports educator, a drama, and another teacher. and these kids are following these careers, and their reports are totally amazing. So Lake Quinault, we want to take that format and like take it to Acosta High School, where there's hard to get the kids to the businesses, but to create the jobs within the school district. And Elma was looking at this, and also Aberdeen was kind of looking at it too, on like maintenance and janitorial, or just skills and positions that need to be done. And then Montecito Fire Department, yeah, they were good. North Beach Museum, New Leaf Behavioral. This lady just started her business and has autistic children. But she took our autistic intern, and she did amazing with this gal. This gal that's been in the program for 2 years has done like a 180 in her behavior and her presence, and she got to go shopping, also set a budget for the office supplies that they needed to make some manuals for this organization. And this intern just figured it out and did it. And she surpassed so many levels of challenges that she had prior. She overcame them. And that was probably one of our best success stories within the summer ARC program. Olympic Area Agency on Aging, the intern that got to work there did IT stuff, and he happened to install a video security system. And then 2 weeks later, it was put to use. We broke in and stole some things, but the video equipment was there. And I'm not sure if they caught the criminals yet, but it was there. So it was really amazing. Quinault has been a great supporter for our Tohola students. Sadistic Cycles there in Hoquiam. Whoever gets to work with Jody there, you're going to get more than a business knowledge. You get a lot of life knowledge. She is just an awesome mentor. And then we have CMAR, which has been, now our interns have to be over 18 years old. And due to COVID, we don't know where we're going to stand there. Our hotels up here in Ocean Shores did a great job. T-shirt shop, Randy and Miranda Bearbauer, great. I mean, that is totally great experience there. Tedboat Grannies, Linda Poplin, she did a great job with our special needs student. West Haven, again, them too. Catherine, Westport Aquarium, that intern got to experience so much out there, including when they got to do the, how do you say the word, Felicia? Necropsy? I can't say it right.
Oh, necropsy.
Necropsy?
Yeah, you got to do one of those.
Necropsy.
Yeah, there you go. We talked about that word before. It's like so weird. You got to do that, and it's like what an opportunity. And now he's currently in college and everything. And the YMCA, they do our summer kids and the youth tutoring program. So I mean, there's so many, and they've all done so much with us. And I think we're missing a couple from Career Pathway Day that are on there, like Sierra Pacific and Rainier. So I got to look at that list again. So that was a loaded question, Stephen. All the businesses that have helped us, because they all say yes, and I'm not afraid to go ask. It's a 50-50 chance to get. I already have a no, so I can go get a yes, and expose our students to possible opportunities for them. So I was really excited. So as I was saying, when Felicia we created the Zoom series, so we had ESD 113, Career Connect, Career Connect Washington STEM, and Pacific Mountain Workforce Counselor came back out to us. WorkSource and of course ARC of Grays Harbor came to us and said, like, wow, what are you guys doing? And don't be offended if anybody copies your model. And we found out that some have. I just got a recent email of other programs that are using what we're doing, and it's like it's a compliment to us.
Yeah.
I think Yelm picked up our model, Yelm, and I think Chehalis, and then that one lady that we were talking to a few weeks ago. I can't remember. She was asking all kinds of questions, Felicia.
I think it's Stephanie Chow from Shelton Middle School.
Shelton, yeah. So Shelton. So we're getting our little program here is taking off and getting statewide recognition, and we just want to make a difference for our youth out here, because Grays Harbor is such a distressed county that our kids will not get the same opportunities as other kids in other counties because of our population, our diversity, our different industries out here but they still need to know that they have an opportunity to make a difference and make some good money and find a job that they love so they can have their career. They don't have to do what mom and dad did just to get by.
Right.
They have an opportunity to change their life and help change our community, and that's what we're really looking for.
Yeah, we certainly coming into this year, Grace Harbor probably was in the strongest position it had been in decades, decades.
Yeah.
And we're in the same pause as really, frankly, everyone. This is not just a regional or national issue, but an international issue.
Yes.
Everywhere. So, having good programs in place to make sure that our kids have the skills that they need to know, to not just, that they already have the no, to ask for the yes. It's going to be, that's a really important thing. So that way, when we, pull out of this, that we're all in better position. And I want to thank you for that. So that's good, important work.
Thank you.
So I thought I heard somebody behind me and I didn't see him on camera, so I guess it was just my imagination. So
Yeah, we didn't see anybody sneak up on you. So, we might warn you, we may not,
Might not.
the shock value.
Yeah, I was like, how the kids come over and they're like, hey dad, like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
I'm busy. See what's going on here?
Yeah.
You see what's going on? But anyway, so
well, there is one more story I want to tell you, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Felicia has anything else to say. Felicia, do you have anything else to say?
I just wanted to say that everyone is invited to our Thursday 1 p.m. Career Connected Learning Series Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
they're really fun. They're really fun. They're an hour, and I'm going to tell you that the students and interns, they have the best questions for the guests. Yeah, so it ends up being just totally light, fun, very informative. And, just go on our Facebook page or our LinkedIn or now Twitter and Instagram and our website to find out our phone number so we can give you the password to come in. But Thursday at 1, every Thursday at 1. And next week, we're actually talking about health sciences. And that's going to be very interesting because we have Doris Reed, who runs the only alternative health and acupuncture center here in Grace Harbor. And we have Lindsay Cargbo from Aberdeen High School, who has extensive training as a nurse. She runs the nursing program there. And that's going to be cool because you have like a juxtaposition of nursing, traditional medicine, and alternative medicine. So, and we have many more great shows lined up. So everyone's welcome.
All right, very cool. Sarah, I think Sarah was saying that they do ask the questions. So
yes, they do.
Right.
Well, it's interactive, and so it's not like just a total recording. They get to listen and they get to ask questions, and we just think it's been a real great learning experience. And the feedback that we've gotten from the students afterwards has been totally tremendous. And last week we actually had our first out-of-state student. She wants to follow a career in politics and law, and definitely got her on there, and she was very thankful and grateful for sharing everything that she did because she learned so much more. And these Zoom series have opened the eyes of our students, and we usually have as many adults as we do students on there because they want to hear what we're doing and what we're saying and everything. But there's one last little story I want to kind of go over. Every year in the orientation.
I'm sorry. And a shout out to Renton School District for bringing on their students. We got Renton here too, man. Thank you.
And they're getting some credit, right, Felicia?
She's saying yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're getting yeah. So that's huge too. I mean, so everywhere we get to expand. I mean, we're just hoping that this really will take off and further our program and reach out to all the youth that we possibly can. But at the beginning of the year, when we do orientation, it's to complete more of our paperwork, like insurance forms, liability, or, making sure the parent is going to support their student, maybe with transportation or whatever it may be. And also another thing that we also do is we provide support services with the bus passes, uniforms, shoes, whatever a student might need that they may not have and the employer doesn't provide. We do cover those expenses also. But we had, so last year for orientation, we brought back one of our interns to speak and in the medical arena. And after she spoke, or throughout the evening, we had a business couple there from Ocean Shores, and the wife just latched on to the speaker all night and telling her, all of her medical stuff. And the speaker thought, oh, it's kind of weird, but didn't really think anything of it. So we went through and completed our thing. I think we had 24 kids and a bunch of parents and guardians and a couple of our business hosts. And at the end of the evening, the husband's like, I can't find my wife. So he asked the speaker to go look for her. And the speaker found the wife unconscious in the bathroom stall. And the husband had to break the door down. And then that speaker, who happened to be Renee, who was the LPN, pulled her out gently. She was vomiting and seizing. And Renee performed her medical duties that she was trained to do on this lady. And it was very astonishing for me because it happened to be my daughter. But the other crazy stuff is that when she called 911, she was able to tell them everything about this lady because this lady had told her everything all night. And that was just astonishing. And one of the craziest parts of this is one of the parents that stayed to help said, that's our program full circle. Because if Renee hadn't said yes to the program, she would not have gotten placed in a medical facility, found out that she loved it, pursued her education, and to come back and speak for us, and then have somebody there with a medical emergency. And then also because of Renee saying yes, I have the job that I have. And I'm not bragging about my daughter or anything. It's just like, you never know by saying yes what your opportunities are going to become down the road. And especially when you find something that you love and you care about and you want to see succeed. So that was really huge. And also during the time that Renee was going through college, she was doing her what do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Clinicals. If you see behind me is a hand, and that's her dad, who had passed with a brainstem stroke. So when she was helping that wife she was picturing that's exactly what her dad had gone through when he died. And so for us, it was a lot more emotional because when the husband was going through his crazy, like my wife, is having all these issues. I felt that. I knew that. I experienced the same thing exactly the same way he did. And so it was really emotional for us. And so this is why I'm so compassionate about this program. And that's why I want to make sure everyone succeed and whatever we have to do to get it out there. Because if it can make a difference for one student's life, it can do that the same to any student's life as long as they apply themselves.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So thank you for sharing. So I want to thank Cheryl and Felicia of Grays Harbor Youth Works for joining me today. Once again, to get in contact with Grays Harbor Youth Works, if you have a business that can help them out, or you can throw a little bit of a donation their way, you can find them on all the social media. Look for Grays Harbor Youth Works on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or the Grams. Everything but Snapchat, because who needs that anyway?
Yeah, that's fair.
So look up Grays Harbor Youth Works. I want to thank them for joining us once again. Please like, subscribe, Harbor Famous on Facebook and YouTube, and then on your podcast, wherever you get your podcast, you can get this in audio format. I try to bring you video every Sunday, a lot of times live if I can pull that off, and then get it out into podcast form by Monday or Tuesday. Anywhere you can get a podcast, you can get Harbor Famous. So please do, and we're going to have lots of more exciting guests coming up. Find out what's going on around Grays Harbor. Thank you again for joining us, and that was Harbor Famous. Let's do that first.